Hey, welcome back to my videos to learn about thoracic aorta. So in this video, we're going to be focusing on thoracic aorta and abdominal aorta all the way down to your common iliac. And next video, we're going to be focusing more on common iliac and your lower limbs supply. But in this video, yes, it kind of represents the human body right here, but there are some important things that we have to go over. Okay, so after your subclavian, so your aorta will make a turn at aortic arch. Let me bring my highlighter out. Okay, so your aorta will make a turn, make an arch, and reach thoracic area, and that was called the thoracic aorta. Okay, why is thoracic aorta important? Well, you know, your lungs, your heart, your esophagus, your trachea, your airway, and your heart pumping, all located in here. Alright? You also have to know that your heart also has a blood supply branching directly off from aorta, correct? So left coronary arteries, right coronary arteries, so make sure you guys also study that too. But in this video, we're going to be focusing more on thoracic and abdominal. So thoracic, supplying all the thoracic region, supplying your ribs, your lungs, your heart. So we're going to be focusing on 4 arteries here on the left side. Actually 5, yes, no 6. Okay, so 4. So I kind of organize them into a paired and non-paired. So your blood supply will have either paired, so both left and right side, or unpaired, it's only on the one side. Okay, so I'll kind of label them here. Okay, so thoracic aorta give rise to first artery will be bronchioles. Okay, I don't know why it's spelled like that, but it's supposed to be bronchioles. Okay, bronchioles will supply your lungs. So your bronchioles, bronchioles, your alveolus, all get supplies from the bronchioles. Bronchioles arteries. Alright, from bronchioles it's going to further branch down. Going down is going to be the pericardioles, which supply your heart. Alright, from going down from pericardioles, you have the esophagus, which has your airways. No, not airways, your digestive system. So these esophagus also receive blood supply from esophageal arteries. Alright, and mediastinals obviously is going to supply the mediastinum cavity between the heart, which will supply the thymus and your thymus, yes, mostly thymus. Okay, so bronchioles arteries, pericardial arteries, esophageals, and mediastinals. So these are unpaired, so it's either on the left side or right side. That's something that you don't have to know, but just know that they're unpaired. Okay? Alright. What about other two arteries? Okay, so we have one more. So these intercostal arteries will supply your muscles between your ribs. External, internal intercostals all get supplied from internal intercostal arteries. They're paired, obviously, left and right, but they're segmented. So they have each segment. So from ribs 1 to 2 supplied by this intercostal arteries, etc. So they are segmented and paired. Alright, we have diaphragm. So diaphragm is very important for your dividing your thoracic abdominal. Right above the diaphragm, we have the superior phrenic artery. It's called a phrenic because it's above the diaphragm. So it's called a superior phrenic artery. Right above the diaphragm, then what about below? So below the diaphragm, we have the inferior phrenic artery. So these are the 2 branches that actually branches off. So these are the branches that this superior phrenic artery is the last branch of the thoracic aorta, and then inferior phrenic artery is actually the first branch of the abdominal. They're very close to your diaphragm. Okay, so Moving down from diaphragm to abdominal, we have the several different arteries. Very important to know the orders. So these are in kind of orders. Okay. Alright. So like I said, the first branch is the inferior phrenic arteries, supplying your diaphragm. Bottom layer of the diaphragm. Okay. Alright. So next branch is the celiac trunk. So celiac trunk. Very important. Why? This will eventually supply your stomach, your spleen, and your liver. 3 important major organs. Your stomach, spleen, and your liver. And eventually part of your splenic will also supply your stomach, bottom of the stomach, and also your common hepatic artery will further branch down into your hepatic proper, which will eventually branch more into the livers to supply various regions of the liver. But that's something that you guys have to, yes, you do guys have to know, but I will talk about it more in the next slide. Okay, so celiac trunk gives rise to your left gastric artery, which will actually supply the upper portion of your stomach. And then we have the splenic artery, which will actually branches off to supply your spleen, but also at the same time, you have the left gastric pyloric, which meaning it's going to supply the bottom portion of the stomach, the wider portion of the stomach. Okay, it's called the greater curvature of the stomach, but you guys don't have to know. Just know that your left gastric artery supplies the lesser curvature of the stomach. Your splenic artery supplies your spleen and also greater curvature of your stomach. And your common hepatic artery will actually branch into your livers, further branch down into your hepatic artery proper. Alright. And these actually, common hepatic artery also give rise to your gastroduodenal, which actually supplies a blood supply to the area where your stomach and your duodenum actually connects together. So stomach actually receive blood supply from all three, technically. But just know the major receiver, so left gastric, stomach, splenic artery, spleens, common hepatic will supply the liver. Okay? Alright. But in practicals, you do have to know where stomachs do receive blood supply from many arteries, including all three right here. But that's something you guys don't have to know for the lecture exam. Okay, for celiac trunk. So what's after celiac trunk? Below the celiac trunk, we actually have the suprarenal. What is suprarenal? Yeah, your adrenal gland above your kidney. So your suprarenal actually receive first, and then we have the superior mesenteric artery. What superior mesenteric artery is very important. Why? Because it's going to supply blood. It's going to supply blood to your all small intestine and ascending colon. So it's going to superior mesenteric artery will supply to all of your small intestines. I said all of your small intestine and ascending colon. I signified the term to all small intestine and ascending colon, meaning different artery will supply different parts. Okay, so superior mesenteric, all small intestines, and ascending colon. And below that we have the renal, which will supply to both left and right kidney. So these are paired. So these are paired right here. I should draw a line here, but okay, actually, I can actually. Yeah, these are all paired right here. A superior phrenic, inferior phrenic, suprarenal. These are all paired. A suprarenal will supply blood supply to your adrenal gland. Right below that we have the superior mesenteric. And below that we have the renal, which will supply to your left and right kidney. And right below that we have gonadal artery, which will supply to your gonads, either ovaries or testes. And below that, now we have the inferior mesenteric artery. This will eventually supply to your descending and sigmoid colon. So make sure you guys know the difference between superior and inferior mesenteric artery and where they supply, because it might be a textbook question. Be like, and which portion of the stomach does, or which portion of the intestine does superior mesenteric artery supply, something like that. But you guys do have to know where it supplies. And from here, and we have right below where before we enter the pelvic, your abdominal aorta divides into left and right common iliac. This will further branch down into your femoral, and then which supplies your lower limbs. Okay, that's about it. This video. I want to go over one more time. Thoracic aorta gives rise to your four arteries right here: bronchioles, pericardials, esophageals, mediastinals. These are unpaired arteries, and also two more arteries that are paired: intercostal artery, which supplies your muscles between your ribs, and your superior phrenic, which is above the diaphragm. And below the diaphragm, we have the abdominal aorta, give rise to your celiac trunk, give rise to inferior phrenic artery first, which supplies the bottom of the diaphragm. And we have the celiac trunk right here, give rise to your left gastric for your stomach, splenic for your spleen, and common hepatic for your liver, which further branches down into hepatic proper. Alright. And then we have the suprarenal, which will supply your adrenal gland. After that, we have the superior mesenteric artery, which will supply your all small intestines and ascending colon. Ascending colon. And below that, we have the renal artery supplied left and right kidney. And we have the gonadal artery, which will supply your gonads. And below that, we have the inferior mesenteric artery, which will supply the descending and sigmoid colon. And abdominal aorta going down to your pelvic bone will further branch down into your left and right common iliac. From your common iliac, it's going to be breaking down into your internal and external iliac, which your internal will supply your glutes. And your external iliac will further breaking down into femoral. Then femoral will breaking down into your popliteal and applying to your tibial and fibular. And that'll be on the next video, actually, so you guys don't have to know on this one. Alright, that's about it this video, and I'll see you in the next video.